Well, hello there. Now, in case if you've been wondering why I'm actually holding my phone and why I've been playing around with it, my phone is my lifeline. And what it's done is it's given me this amazing platform to talk to a whole lot of people, not only just my family and friends, but a wider audience out there. Do we understand what it actually does to someone's perspective when we comment about these wrong things, these hurtful things? Cyberbullying. Do we understand it, and do we understand the effects it has on our society? This is what we're talking about today on Talk Down.
Well, it just basically means in terms of abuse on the internet, where somebody's character can be demeaned, somebody's character can actually be downtrodden, whether it is use of vulgar language or just inappropriate language in order to describe that person.
We really don't know how to deal with it when you get a situation where someone is bullying you that way. We end up not knowing what to do about it. So it hurts you emotionally, and it actually drives most people to commit suicide because you won't get the help that you need.
What comes to your mind when you hear the word cyberbullying?
Basically, cyberbullying is the unintentional negative behavior that is done online to harm others,
Right.
whether to harass someone, to hurt someone, just basically hurting someone.
Okay, now we have joining us Takunda Gomviro. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Zaza.
Takunda, you are our legal expert, and we just want to just pick your brain a little bit about what cyberbullying is.
Okay, cyberbullying, Zaza, is a very broad term. In terms of a legal context, we are looking at any act or omission that involves conduct on the cyberspace.
Right.
So here we are taking a look at our international social media spaces, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the WhatsApps, where people communicate regularly but are using technology, so to speak,
Right.
to interact. But when you are on that platform and you begin to harass someone, to use language that is not acceptable or that denigrates someone's personality, then yes, you are involved in cyberbullying. So basically that's what cyberbullying is, but it also goes further. There are people who depict images, some create memes, write a lot of funny stuff and have your face there. It all constitutes cyberbullying.
Does that also not affect our right to freedom of speech in a way?
Thank you for raising that. Now, you know, our rights, we have fundamental rights enshrined in our constitution.
Yes.
But the exercise of those rights must be conducted within a limit which also respects the rights of the other people that are affected by your conduct. So when one right is put into play, it is also limited by what it can do to someone else. So there's a natural limitation that is there. You don't just do whatever you feel like doing. Yes, you have your right to freedom of expression. That's fair and fine. But respect someone else's right to dignity.
Right.
Because equally, it's also a fundamental right in terms of the Constitution.
Let's have a look at your story. Tell us how it began. Did you see it coming? What actually took place for you to actually notice that, hang on, this is actually cyberbullying right now?
Okay, when it actually happened, I honestly was not aware of this cyberbullying. I also was clueless about it.
Right.
Yeah, so it was basically a fabrication. Someone fabricated a story about me, that I was HIV positive and that I injected a child with, I injected a child with my blood. Like
Right.
they said I had a syringe, I withdrew my own blood and I injected my ex-boyfriend's child. Yeah. So it was written on social media.
Right, that's where it started
That's
from.
where it started.
Okay.
On Facebook, that is. And yeah, it actually emanated from then, and then from there it went from one platform to another. It went from Facebook to Twitter to WhatsApp. Everybody was just forwarding.
And then what happened?
Yeah, it then went crazy. I started receiving, because when the article went about, it had my number. So everybody now started texting me, sending harsh comments. Some saying I'm the biggest witch in Africa. Some saying this and that and that.
Now we have the Minister of ICT lobbying for the ICT, protection bill, the cyberbullying bill. Has it been effected within our constitution and within our legal frameworks in Zimbabwe?
Thank you for raising that. Indeed, we currently have the draft computer crime and cybercrime bill that obviously is coming through the Ministry of ICT, if you have rightfully pointed out.
Yes.
But currently, it's not yet our law. What it is a draft or a bill which is still going through the motions in Parliament. This is where it's debated as to whether its provisions are conducive. Do they meet the objective that the draft bill has been set out to achieve?
Right.
And after all that has been done, it will go to the president, obviously, for the presidential assent. And at that stage, that's when it comes into law. But as of now, it's not yet law.
Where do you think we're missing the mark? Where are we going wrong?
Okay, I think generally as journalists, you know, we hardly want anything going between us and the big story or and a good story.
What is actually protecting us? If I have a case where I want to go and report cyberbullying.
Firstly, I would say we really do not have anything in place targeting cyberbullying. But what we do have are statutes that can be interpreted to obviously try and criminalize certain conduct that could have taken place in the cyberspace. For instance, basically we have three statutes that can be utilized by our law enforcement agents.
Yes.
The first being the Postal and Telecommunications Act, the second being the Censorship and Entertainment Controls Act, and lastly, obviously, we have the Criminal Law and Codification Reform Act.
Right.
So when there is certain conduct, the duty of the investigating officer or the police officer who receives a complaint is to try and link such conduct with either of the provisions of that are contained in the three statutes I've just mentioned. And when they have such conduct, then they can see whether it is captured, the elements of the conduct are captured in a specific provision of those statutes.
Okay.
If they do find it is, then they proceed to prepare a docket which will be forwarded to prosecution for the final prosecution of the matter. So in my final assessment, I would say, yes, we could have certain provisions in those three statutes that actually deal with activity on the cyberspace. But for one reason or another, our law enforcement agents are not taking that up, which is quite sad.